The Browns coming off of a thrilling victory against some people's number one team in the NFL in the Green Bay Packers last week. And y'all talk about the Browns a little bit more and how impressed I am with them on the defensive side of the ball. Now they're traveling to Detroit to take on a Lions team that, okay, they stumbled against the Packers to start the season, but since then it's been business as usual, all of their games there. So where do you want to start here? You want to talk about the Lions or the Browns?
I mean, I'll go with the Lions offense against the Browns defense because I know that's kind of the matchup to highlight here. And you look at the contrast between what the Lions are earning between the tackles in the run game right now. Last week against the Ravens, I should say a couple of days ago against the Ravens, 187 rushing yards between the tackles. They were getting right downhill with those big duo schemes that they're running. Penei Sewell had the best run blocking grade of any offensive lineman in a game we've ever tracked. Tate Ratledge had a 90 run blocking grade. Taylor Decker had an 84. I mean, it was just an absolute mauling that they gave the Ravens front seven. The Lions this year between the tackles are fifth in rushing grade, first in run blocking grade, and third in yards per carry. But the Browns front seven may be the one team that can kind of keep up with them, right? You talk about Myles Garrett, Malik Collins, Mason Graham, Isaiah McGuire, Carson Schlesinger, Devin Bush, all those guys playing great in run defense. When you run between the tackles on the Browns, they have the third best run defense grade right now, and they have the fewest yards per carry allowed. So I think that's a battle on the inside. Do the Lions just kind of beat their head against the wall and go, no, we're better, we're more physical with our offensive line? Or do they try to get to the edges, or do they try to throw it and let Jared Goff control the game? Obviously, we saw the Packers struggle. We even saw the Baltimore Ravens struggle with Derrick Henry to run the ball on Cleveland. This Cleveland front seven is a real problem, and I just wonder if the Lions are going to try to, are they going to try to challenge it? Are we going to get a real war in the trenches in the run game? Are they going to try to dominate them like they did to Baltimore? But this Cleveland front seven is nothing to be messed with, man. They can keep them in any game.
Yeah, I know we like to talk about both sides of the ball here, but to be honest, like that's kind of really the only side of the ball that matters is how the Browns defend the Detroit Lions, because the Browns just don't really have anything on offense. I mean, Tillman has been disappointing. Jerry Jeudy has certainly been disappointing for this team. I mean, he has so many targets and so few catches. He has 0 contested catches. He has 5 contested targets to him. It's just, he has been really disappointing. Harold Fannon's been nice, but I mean, he's sort of just been nice, sort of a change of pace option for them. Obviously, Joe Flacco's at quarterback. He's going to be a fine veteran for them with a decent floor, but the ceiling is so limited. And so ultimately, and unfortunately, it just comes down to how dominant the Browns defense is. And they have been truly dominant through the first couple of games of the season. In fact, they're number one in a lot of categories. They're number one in team rushing grade. They're number 3 in EPA per rush allowed. They have an 85.9 team run defense grade. Both of the wins that the Lions have came with positive EPA per rushes and a team rushing grade above 70. Against the Packers, they were not able to run the football well. And I think if you just put the ball in Jared Goff's hands, who Jared Goff is playing really good football. I want to be clear. Like, that's not an intention for me to take a shot at Jared Goff. He has also been playing very, very well in this game. But that's basically the script that you have to follow. You have to make Jared Goff beat you at this point, because you can't just let the Lions lean on the run game. We've seen what that has done to some good football teams over the last couple of weeks. So it's just it just comes down to how well the Browns are going to play defense. Is the number one defense in the NFL, is that enough? Is that truly enough? Because I just have not seen the consistency, the ceiling, really anything from the Browns offense. They have one of the worst offensive lines in the NFL right now. Like, I think they're giving up maybe the highest rate of pressure. I think they maybe have given up the most total pressures. They're one of the worst pass blocking offensive lines in the NFL. So that used to be a unit of strength for them. Now, for the Browns, I'm basically just praying that the rookies take over. I'm praying that Harold Fannin Jr. or Quinshon Judkins or Dylan Sampson, like I'm praying that one of those guys is able to give you an X factor type of game on offense, because outside of that, for as much as the Browns have been exciting over the first couple of weeks, and I would agree, I think that they should be 2-1 here. How do you keep up with an offense like the one that we've seen Detroit have, especially over the last couple of weeks, and then tying that into what they have been over the last couple of years? I don't think it's enough for Cleveland to get it done here. Especially with this game being in Detroit. I'll go Lions 21, Browns 13.
I'll take the low scoring outcome still because I think this Browns defense is real. They have the highest graded defense in the NFL and the lowest graded offense in the NFL. It's just quite a contrast between the two sides of the ball. But I'll take the Lions 17-10. I do think Cleveland's defense can give the Lions some issues. Obviously, we've seen Jared Goff under pressure is not very good. It's been like that his whole career. But the Lions are going to find enough here, and I'm with you. The Browns just not enough answers on offense, and I think their offensive tackle position, especially DeJuan Jones now has an injury. He's going on IR. So you're talking about possibly two backup tackles playing against Aiden Hutchinson, and Al-Qadim Muhammad's been a revelation on the other side for the Lions so far. Hutchinson is 14th in the league in pass rush grade right now. Muhammad is 15th. So you've got a good pair of edge rushers that are really getting the job done. They were both fantastic against Baltimore. I think that's the difference. Is just once again the Browns can't score enough. The defense, I think, will keep them in this game. I think they're fantastic, but I just think eventually the Lions find enough to get it done. 17-10.
Yeah, and DeJuan Jones now out for the season, which is a tough blow for them, but he did not have a great start to the season either. 43.9 pass blocking grade. Cornelius Lucas, who's taken over for him, he has a 45.2 pass blocking grade. It's just not the Browns' offensive line that it used to be, even with some of the names that are familiar there. And so it's been a big issue for this team. Aiden Hutchinson is really starting to warm up. You mentioned Muhammad, which I'm glad that you did because that's, I think, an underrated edge rusher duo 3 weeks into the season. I I think it's going to be low scoring like you do. I just don't think that the Bears have it or that the Browns have enough. I don't.